Hello everybody and welcome to Ginger Prime Gaming. My name is Brian and in this video we're going to be breaking down the big 4 options when it comes to cloud gaming. Now obviously there are 3 big hangups when it comes to cloud gaming, and the first one is obviously internet speeds. I would not recommend looking into this unless you have 35 megabits down or faster as a starting point. The other hurdle is going to be no internet data caps on your plans. And just to show you my internet usage from streaming on my computer, focusing on here the Ethernet, you can see here I use Shadow PC, Chrome, which is going to be a little bit of YouTube and a lot of Stadia, and then I've just started using Geforce Now. You can see the different usage that I have in play, and so when you factor this overall, that's a lot of data no matter which way you slice it, and so internet data caps are a concern. If you have internet data caps, please come check this out or go find another ISP provider if one is available. If not, I would encourage you to reach out to your local legislation and hopefully get some better options for your area. It's a complex issue and we're not going to dive into the logistics and the politics into this video, but I want to break down Geforce Now, Xcloud, Stadia, and Shadow PC, and we're going to keep this going on as this technology becomes more viable, more available, and improves with new features and overall quality. So, if you're not aware, I've been gaming in the cloud since June, and I've primarily moved all of my gaming into the cloud. I might easily be the exception to the rule here because I have uncapped internet and plenty of bandwidth to do so. And as a content creator, I might be in a different ballpark, but I figured maybe somebody's out there wondering if they should try something and what should they choose. And so that's what this video is going to focus in on: the quality, the interface, and the cost associated with all 4 of these platforms. Now maybe more cloud platforms come into play, and if they do, I'll be sure to update you on that status as it rolls out. So if you're interested and you feel like this video has earned your sub, please hit that subscribe button and check out our other content on the channel. I like to talk about video games, and that's what we're going to be focusing in on, and the ways you play them. I want to first open with Geforce Now. Geforce Now is a way to play the games that you own, either through Steam, through Origin, through Epic Game Store, in the cloud. Now, since I've been using this, I went ahead and signed up for the Founders Pack. It basically breaks down the cost at $5 a month, but you sign up for a full year. What it does is it connects into my games, the games I own. So even if I don't want to play on the cloud or my subscription decides to lapse, I still have access to the games that I've owned already. And that's the real powerhouse that Geforce Now brings to the game. You can see here I have Division 2, Wolcen, can't pronounce it, Divinity Origin Sin, Temtem Darkest Dungeon, Portals, Destiny 2, which is fantastic because I'm able to save so much space. If anybody's installed Destiny in some of these bigger games knows they are hard drive space killers, and as a content creator for YouTube, that is one of the things that eats up a lot of my hard drive space, is having these games installed and more. I'm still looking forward to more games being added, and I keep going in and requesting new game features and new games to be added to the system. If I was going to make one change, one interface change for you, I would join my accounts at this level rather than connecting to the game and having to authorize my game. Now you only do that once per game per instance, but it is a little bit jarring. Overall, I expect the interface and the system to improve just in leaps and bounds probably over the next couple of months, and I'm going to keep following it because it truly is a great way to kind of test out to see if cloud gaming is for you. Best case, it also has a free option, so you don't have to sit here and spend money to see if it's going to work, because there is an uncertainty when it comes to the cloud. You're like, will this even work with my internet? Will it work with my internal network? There are so many factors when it comes to cloud gaming that it's really impossible to say that this is the system for today. It might be more the system for 5 years or 10 years or 20 years from now, depending on where you live in the world and what you're capable of. But what it does do, it does 2 things and it does them well. It allows me to play games on computers and hardware that weren't meant to play these high quality games, and it saves me a ton of hard drive space so I have access to these games easily. And somebody asked me, were you even playing those games in the first place? And because I kept having to mix and match and move things around, no. But I actually am playing more games now because of this, because it's easier to drop in, whether I'm just streaming it to my phone now and having a connected controller, or if I'm playing in more rooms in the house, because we only have one real gaming machine and everything else is just a screen that we use. And now it's a gaming machine that's empowered by it, thanks to Geforce Now. Now, overall, the quality with Geforce Now when it compares to things like Stadia and Shadow PC is a little on the low end. And obviously, it doesn't have all my games just yet, but every week it just gets better and better with more and more games that they've added onto it. And again, like I said, if I could connect my accounts in it so it would show me what games I own that are currently supported by streaming, that would have been really nice. They did recently pull out the Blizzard games, so we're going to have to wait and see if those go to a different platform like Stadia, or if Activision Blizzard decides to jump into this all on their own. Now next, I want to talk about Shadow PC. You can see it here running on my screen. And I'm not running it in full screen mode, so you don't think I'm just running a normal PC. That's what Shadow PC is. It's a gaming PC in the cloud. Now, let me focus on the first drawback, hard drive space. This is where I have games, and they're large, and there's only so many of them. Take Final Fantasy 14, Anthem, Temtem's really small. But overall, these are large games, and they're going to use up the bulk of the space. Nice thing is, this is SSD. This is fast. This is fast. These games run and look and play great on these devices. I know a lot of people, especially, have had issues with Anthem itself. And I can tell you right now, Anthem runs great in the cloud. It could run better, and we're hoping for the 2.0 update and more. But games like Final Fantasy 14 run just incredible on this platform. In fact, this is the only platform that would support a game like Final Fantasy 14 because it has yet to come to Geforce Now, or Stadia, or hopefully Xcloud, since Final Fantasy 14 is heading that way, hopefully later this year. Lots of hopefuls because we don't have necessarily dates at the time of this recording. Now the pros here line up with the pros of Geforce Now, except for this is a computer, so if it runs on a computer, it runs on Shadow PC. That's the real strength. There's no check to see if you're running in the cloud. However, some service agreements, like those with Activision, say that you can get in trouble if you're playing this game in a cloud environment. So just keep that in mind. However, your games are your games. You own them regardless of using this as a service or more. Now, overall cost-wise, Shadow PC is on the higher end, but you can do more with the computer itself, and they have more plans to roll out more options for hard drive space and different options and configurations of your Shadow PC itself. Though Shadow PC is also not currently supported everywhere in the United States, but it's fast making its way into new areas in Europe and more. And in fact, Europe even has more features that we have yet to get over here in the United States because this is a company that's based over in France, so good for them. But we're still waiting for more. Now, a downside and the final note is, just like PC gaming, you're going to have to patch in your system. You're going to have to update Windows. If there's drivers updates, that all has to be managed here. You're not going to have something automated for you. But that, maybe you want that control. Maybe you want that ability to mod. Maybe you don't want to give up that freedom and control. Again, with Shadow PC versus Geforce Now, the games are patched for you. You don't have to go and wait to download the update. And as a gamer and as a father, every second matters. And I can't express to you how important that is. It's such a small feature. Like if I was trying to sell you on it, like, hey, never have to update your games, you might be like, what's the big deal? But then when you experience it and you just jump into the game and you go and play, you realize, wow, that's so much better. That's so much faster. You don't realize the amount of times that you tried to go play the game you wanted to play only to have it patched and then just be like, okay, let me just go play something else, or never mind, forget it. I don't have time anyway. I'm just going to go do something else. It might seem silly, and maybe you aren't like me in that regards. To be able to pick up and play and go from screen to screen and room to room at the drop of a hat is really nice. And being able to play with your kids on the couch with your phone, and it just really opens up the world of possibilities. So honestly, if you were asking me for a recommendation, I would recommend you try out Shadow PC or try out Geforce Now. Now, we've partnered with Shadow PC over on our main channel, Work to Game. You can use the code DOWORK. It should give you $5 or $10 off or something like that, basically giving you the ability to try it out. So check that out. I'll try to include a link in the description below as well if you're interested, but you don't have to take my recommendation for it. Try it for yourself. Try Geforce Now, which we are not partnered with or sponsored by at all. And in this case, you can go check them out for free, which is a really good deal. So we've got two more streaming services to talk about. And we'll talk about Xcloud last because there's some interesting thoughts that I have on it. And I'm really excited about Xcloud, but we do need to talk about Stadia. Stadia today just rolled out its service for phones to more phones. It just was on Pixel. It is the slowest, weirdest paid, and beta is the wrong word. It's the word that best describes it because it's the MVP, the minimal viable product. It launched that way. They charge people for it. I don't regret my Stadia purchase because it does work from a quality perspective, from an interface perspective. it works really well. I can play this in the browser, where in Xcloud, you currently can't do it. Xcloud's only available on Android phones, and with a slight, even more tease of a preview for iOS, but still no word on the browser. Here on my computer, I can sit here and fire up Stadia and play a game. As a parent, this is the fastest system. This is by far faster than PC and more. Their ability to scale is unmatched. Their marketing, their delivery, their rollout, it's inexcusable. And they have a long way to go. Yeah, are they going to quit and give up? I doubt it. But if you're talking to gamers in general, they are very skeptical of this platform, and rightfully so. Questions of ownership. What happens when you're not subscribed? Are your games just going to disappear on you because Google gets bored like they've gotten bored everywhere else? All legitimate arguments, and you should take that all with a grain of salt. In fact, you should not spend money on Stadia at all. Don't even consider it until they give you the free option. There's a free option that's going to come later this year at an undisclosed time, and at that time, that's going to be the great time to try it. I think the lesson here is that you should try cloud gaming if you've got 35 megabits down or more and you do not have data caps. If you meet those two requirements, then you should find what is free so you can check it out for yourself. Cloud gaming has empowered me to play some of the most advanced games on hardware that would never run them ever, and on laptop and portable hardware that the battery just lives and lives and lives. I think overall that's actually what sold me on the power of cloud gaming, when I realized that it opens up the world not to hardcore gamers who want to have that high-end PC, that graphics card, that console experience on day one, but for all of those who are like, yeah, that sounds like fun, but there's too much barrier for entry for me to jump into this market, and so they've all migrated to mobile games. When I talk to my brother and my brother-in-law and all those why they play mobile games, it is simple but the fact that they have it. It's already in their hands. You have to have a phone. And that's what Microsoft, what Stadia, what Shadow PC, what even Geforce Now are trying to solve. It's like, how can we reach out to this market that's kind of fallen away, but that's ever growing? And at some point, for some gamers, the hobby turns into something that they remember fondly and would probably return to if the barrier for entry was lowered. And that's what we are seeing with Xcloud, with Stadia, and with all of these, trying to get into more places and just make it to where you can just buy the games and be a part of their ecosystem. And so lastly, we need to talk about Xcloud. Currently, it's not on browsers, like we said. Currently, it's only available on Android and a few little iOS. Currently, you have to register for the beta, and we have no words on release date. Xcloud currently is in the running for your consideration, but if you happen to get into the beta, then that's fantastic. Those who I've talked with really love the service. The quality is there. Obviously, it solves the ownership issue. You can play your games, whether they're in the cloud or not. It also has Game Pass, which means that you're available to play all kinds of games. Personally, I am very much excited about this platform if, and the if here is, I hope that it's playable in browser on TVs. The recent partnership with Samsung shows that Xcloud is going to be aggressively marketing to not just people in the United States, but Korea and more. They want to put this everywhere. They want to get in places that have never had a console, that don't need a console anymore, and they just want to get people into the system, into the ecosystem. And so if you made it this far into the video, let me know if you have any questions below. My recommendation is straight up Geforce Now, because if you've already got games, you're ready to go. From there, I would recommend Shadow PC if you want more power and you want a little bit more flexibility with the computer itself, but the price cannot be beat when it comes to Geforce Now's free option. It's limited, but it's still free, and that's the whole key point. Then if you do want it, it's $5 a month, so they're coming in really cheap. Then from there, whenever Stadia goes free to play, if you're checking those things out, you probably should try Stadia. The quality is there. And I think that while they have a long way to go, investment can solve that problem. That's a problem and function of time. And as long as they have the passion and the energy and they want to keep doing this, we'll have to wait and see. But on one final note, and something that's important we should all consider, we have questions of ownership, gaming rights, our internet, our options. Are we surrendering too much freedom for these digital games? Ownership is usually a number one issue that is brought up when it comes to internet speeds and no data caps. And we're giving up our data for a lot of this stuff. In the end, I see a lot of value in it, and also I see a lot of concern. Now, that's why I believe that a strong Google, Stadia, a strong Xcloud through Microsoft, a strong Shadow PC, a strong Geforce Now, a strong PlayStation, a strong Nintendo, all of these companies, not just vying for our time, our attention, and our dollars, but they're also keeping each other in check. If somebody wants to go and be silly, it gives, hopefully gamers have options. And I'm always going to advocate for the choice and the freedom and the options of the gamer over anything else. I think that's the most important factor in all of this. And I think that's where cloud gaming comes in right now, as an option. I've been talking with a lot of people, and that's the reason why I'm sitting down making this video today. They are talking about upgrading their PC. They wish they had $5,000 to get that $5,000 PC. So my question back to them has been, what's your internet speed? Have you tried Geforce Now? Have you signed up for the Xcloud beta? Have you checked out Shadow PC? It could be everything that you're wanting, and you're not going to have to go and drop $5,000 for it anymore. So, it's going to be an interesting future. I'd love to know your thoughts, any and all, in the comments below. Well, that pretty much wraps it up. For Ginger Prime, my name is Brian. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you soon. Take care.